Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Last Page podcast. We are your hosts, Mariana and Niki.
Guys, I'm so excited for this episode. It's book club day for April, and we read Funny Story by Emily Henry, which I won't say my exact rating, but I loved it.
I can't believe we have turned her into an Emily Henry girl.
No, I mean,
and by her, I mean you.
Yes, her. I do love Emily now. I did make a public apology cancellation video on TikTok because I had to apologize to Emily and say I'm sorry that I was a hater. I didn't even hate Happy Place that much.
I know she's been waiting.
Yeah, I know.
She's been waiting for you to be a convert.
I know. I'm sure she's really been torn up about the fact that I gave Happy Place a 3. You know, yeah, she didn't love that. No, but her new book, literally as we're filming this, comes out today. So I feel like I have to just read it right away.
I saw this girl on TikTok and I told Nikki we were cracking up. She was like, I'm reading The Great BBL.
Because it is BBL, isn't it? I kept thinking it's Big Beautiful. I keep thinking it's Beautiful World. Where are you? What is it?
Where are you? That's Sally Rooney.
Yeah. No, this one's The Great BBL.
Different. It's a little different.
But I've heard that a lot of people who have read it already love it. So.
Really? Okay. I've seen it all over. I don't want any spoilers. I actually have no idea what it's about. I do want to read it. You said it came out today, right? 22nd?
Yeah, literally today.
Oh my gosh. I mean, not today.
Oh, well. As you're watching this, guess what day it is? My birthday.
What is it? Oh my gosh. And guess what day it just was yesterday? My birthday. More importantly.
Yeah, because she's old. It's okay. Yeah, if you guys didn't know this already, for the amount of times that we've been yapping about it in the past month or two, Mariana and I do have sister birthdays. Hers is the day before mine, the 27th, and mine is the 28th. And we have this really cool tradition. I don't know if we've talked about on the podcast yet, but it's the passing the birthday torch, where whether virtually or in person, she passes me. We take a picture like this. And she passes me a little emoji. Oh, yeah. We need to post literally all of them. I have a folder. I think this is going to be our 10th one.
We already have 10.
Okay, maybe this will be our 11th one then.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I
remember last year you being like, this is going to be our 10th one.
That's crazy.
No, I know.
Ew, we're so old.
No, I know.
But we're going to have to do that at midnight London time, I think. Because that happens first, you know?
Yeah, of course, I'm the one that has to stay up.
Yeah, you're always. Even when you were in New York, you had to stay up. Well, I mean, we can do midnight California time, but I think that's going to be, 7 a.m., 8 a.m. for you? Are you going to ready to be up at 8 a.m.?
Yeah, we could pass it twice.
No, we have to do it whatever happens first in the world.
Okay, fine. Okay. Anyway, we'll talk about this offline.
Yeah, guys. Anyway, so happy birthday to us. As a birthday present, I have something that you could do for us. Leave us a review. A 5-star review only. We have talked about this before. Or if you don't want to leave us a review, you could send us a little DM. You could tell your friends about the podcast. You know, just help us grow.
You can leave us 30 nice comments. Your top 30 things you love about us.
They're like, I couldn't even come up with 3.
No, 3 times 10 is 30. I told Ben we're going to brunch on my birthday on Sunday with some of our friends. Because our best friend Linz is visiting from New York, so we're so excited. But I was like, I can't wait to sit around over breakfast and have everyone say all the things they love about me.
I know. I feel
As you can tell, we really hate our birthdays. Ugh.
So you're going to brunch, and aren't you going away else? No, you're not going away. Were you going to go do something?
No, we're just here. We were supposed to go away this last weekend, but instead we made rings.
Oh, you little joker. Do you want to tell them what you did to me?
We wanted to save money because we have weddings coming up, and then I'm going to LA. So we didn't go away for my birthday, but we just did local things because we had a bank holiday break here. So we had 4 days off, which was amazing. And then our friends are coming on Friday. So yeah, we just cleaned. We made rings.
Yeah, tell them what you did.
We made chocolates, and it was so sweet.
Tell them.
Yeah, okay, go on. You tell them.
Yeah, so Mariana and Ben FaceTime me. And as I open up my FaceTime, it's them like this with 2 little rings on. And my stomach dropped. YouTube. I look like this. I look at her in the face and I go, what is that?
No, but here's the
What
thing.
did I
Nikki
say?
looked scared.
No,
like,
I was.
ew, that's your ring.
Well, I mean, first of all, I was like, that's a choice, but that's okay. But also, Ben had one on. And the thing that I clocked before I got my hopes up too much is that his was on his middle finger. And I was like, how dare you even. Sorry, I thought my cat was throwing. God, I thought my cat was throwing up, you guys. SOS. No, he's not. God. Anyways, yeah, they pranked me that they had engagement rings on, and I was upset.
It was a pretty good prank. It was Ben's idea, I will say.
How dare he? I told Ben, I said, that's strike one. You better not mess it up again.
I'll tell him. He can hear everything from the upstairs.
Okay, good.
The man who lives upstairs. Ben. Yeah, so we'll be 30, and as a wise woman, I can share that, you know what, you guys, do whatever the frick you want, because really, life is too short.
And as Abby Jimenez's book
only
would
live
say,
once.
Life's too short. And YOLO.
Life is too short. However, I have started saying life is long as a way of like sounding wise. Life is long, you guys.
Yeah, it is. It's
like, why do I close my eyes?
It's funny because I read this book in college, like high school, college, called The Happiness Project. I don't know if you've ever read that.
I read that. Yeah.
I loved it. And the one thing that I took away from it is this quote that she said, the days are long, but the years are short. And I was like, that is so true. And it kind of tripped me out because it's like, you know, the days just drag and then all of a sudden it's literally almost May. Like what?
No, I know. Like, we need to find an apartment and move out of here.
Dude, yeah, that's coming up, huh?
Yeah, my things look funny, you guys. We keep saying like we've already been here 3 months, like 3 full months, almost 4 once April is over, and April's almost over.
That's crazy.
Also, special shout out to my sister who also shares a similar birthday to myself and Nikki. Hers is the 30th. Happy birthday, because I know she listens and I love you so much and I miss you every day.
That's crazy. And also my cousin, Amanda, who I don't think listens, but I can send this one to her. Hers is the 29th. So we really go 4 in a row.
Well, yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Ben's brother is also the 29th.
Oh, we need to have a get-together of only the 20s Taurus birthdays. I feel like I know a lot of Tauruses. We kind of, you know, we're kind of the elite sign. I don't know if people know that.
But I also confused the cutoff for Taurus and Aries. Is it Aries?
Aries, I think that we are on the earlier end of Taurus.
We're overachievers.
Yeah. So, you know.
All right.
Well, anyways, for my birthday, we are going away for the weekend just for one night down to like San Diego area to this really pretty hotel called The Inn at Rancho Santa Fe. I found it on Instagram.
Oh, cute.
Oh my God, it's literally so beautiful and just decorated to perfection. So I'm really hoping that we get some good weather so we can lay out at the pool. That's kind of my ideal day. But it might be a little overcast, but that's okay because staying at a hotel is my favorite activity. So.
Me too. Like, should we do like a getaway where we just read books and you guys can all come with us?
The way I was actually meaning to talk to you about this. No, let's air this out on air because I was going to talk to you about this anyway. We need to do a book brand trip. Like we need to do the Last Page podcast takes the skies. Like we need to go to somewhere cool, nothing crazy.
Richmond.
Yes. Like wouldn't that be fun if we got a big beautiful Airbnb or like hotel
BBL.
rooms? We got a BBL. What if we all get matching BBLs?
Great big beautiful lives.
I just feel like that'd be so fun.
No, Nikki, I'm ready.
And we could go somewhere like Central America, like Tennessee. I don't know, Michigan. Let's go to Michigan.
This book took place.
Yes, I know. I have been dying to go to Michigan.
Nick, we should go to
the Bookish Hotel. Maryland. That's not very central, but that's okay.
Yeah, we stayed in this really nice house over a year ago now. I saw it on my memories.
Last year in July, yeah.
Oh, when was it? Oh, when we went to the Catskills. Anyway,
yeah.
Peace and love, Maryland. It was such a cute house.
Shout out Maryland. If you're listening from Maryland, drop us a comment. I loved it. I loved every second of it.
I loved it too, but we didn't really do anything or go anywhere. We just stayed in the house, and the house had a pool, which was really nice and relaxing.
But the whole, like, it's just beautiful there. Oh, I don't like geese. I'm very scared of geese. But long story short, I really want, we need to do a trip for real with y'all. So please let us know if you're interested in that. Like a long weekend. It would be like a 2-3 night expedition. We'll fly somewhere, not crazy, not out of the country, just local. And we'll find a cute little place to stay, and we'll like go to bookstores, and we can have an in-person book club meeting. Oh my God.
I would love that. Oh my gosh.
Should we go on tour?
We're
live podcast
for all 5 of our listeners.
For the 5 of you that listen religiously. Also, shout out to our girl Evie. I would like to give Evie a special shout out because she's always in my DMs saying, when's the new podcast drop? When's the new YouTube drop? And I'm like, girl, you hold me accountable. So thank you for that. Oh, also something I have to mention, which I think you should maybe do this year. Just throwing this out there. Evie reminded me, and I've also been waiting eagerly, is every year on my birthday, we do the Barnes & Noble bookstore challenge where I go and it's 3 minutes to look and 2 minutes to pick, and as many books as I can possibly carry, I get to take home for my birthday. And I've done it 2 years in a row. This is going to be the third, and that's like my favorite birthday activity. That's all I want. So I think maybe you should do that too.
I don't know. We have nowhere to put our stuff, and we might be going to like away after our lease is up. We might go on a nice holiday somewhere right by the beach for like a month or two. So
yeah,
I don't know where I would put all my stuff. And also,
you could get them digitally.
Yeah, I could get them digitally and just stock my Kindle.
Stuff your Kindle day on Ben's tab.
My Kindle on my birthday.
Yeah.
No, I'm a Kindle Unlimited girl, you guys. Like,
yeah.
I barely buy any books, really. But what I was going to say is, what about that girl who sent us little booklets?
Stop. Wait. Okay.
We need to post that.
Pause. Let me go get them. Okay, guys. We got fan mail. I don't want to call it that, but that's how I feel because we're
friend mail.
So famous. Yeah, we got friend mail. This girl is our friend. Her name is Kelly, and she's just a very loyal book club participant, podcast listener, vibe girly. Love her so much.
Kelly was always in the comments when we would live stream these.
No, Kelly's like in with she's in the group chat. She's in. So Kelly, shout out. We love you. She, first of all, makes these really cool bracelets on Etsy. Her Etsy is beadbabe48, but I'll put that in the comments or like in the description. But it's these like Morse code. Let me see what this says.
Why is it Morse code? Weird.
Morse code. Morse code? Isn't that how you say it? Morse code?
I say Morris. Isn't it Morris? M-O-R-I-S?
M-O-R-S-E, Morse?
Oh, you're right.
Well, anyway, gosh. Kelly, maybe you can tell us how to say it. But she uses a white bead for the dash and a black bead for the dot. And so like this, for example, it says daydream. It's like a secret code of what it says. And she made us some personalized ones, like this one. Okay, bookworm. Cute. I think she can personalize them for you. She made one that has my name on it. And look at these ones. It says the Last Page Podcast.
That's so cute.
I could actually sob. She also made us, just for funsies, these like cute little coloring books that have the Last Page Podcast. And she also sent me her favorite book, which is The Princess Bride, which I've actually never read. And I just think that's so sweet. Kelly. Thank you, Kelly. I know I haven't made a TikTok about this, I think because I've just been emotional about it, but I need to do that. So,
well, when Nikki got it, I was asleep and you made me a video and you were like, oh my God.
Oh my God, yeah. I made her like a personal unboxing video and I was like crying almost because I was like, this is the sweetest thing ever. Because she was like, I want to send you guys something, whatever. And I didn't expect all of this. So check her out on Etsy. What a queen. Love.
Kelly, we love you, girl.
Kelly, we love you.
I hope you read this book. I hope you're up in this chat. I hope you're dropping those 5-star reviews.
I know. We have to send this to her to make sure she sees it. Anyways, okay, let me put all of my stuff away, guys. Normally, look, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be transparent here. Normally, when we do our little catch-ups, we write a quick bullet point on like things maybe we want to discuss. Mariana's making fun of me because one of the things I wrote is new pans. And I'm sorry if... Now that I'm 30, I'm boring and I want to talk about my new pans. But I did get one pot and one pan and some knives from Hexclad. It's Gordon Ramsay's brand.
No way.
And they're actually really good.
Really?
Yeah.
Frick. I need a recommendation for like new. everything when we move into a new place, but I know that do you have caraway?
I have caraway, and I have mixed feelings about my caraway pants because, first of all, they're beautiful. They're like this gorgeous sage green color. And we've had them for like 2.5 years now, I think. And when we first got them, they were really great. But over time, it's just the nonstick is not non-sticking. And also, they've gotten kind of scratched up, which I fear is leaking, like, shit into our food.
Oh, no. But they're non-toxic.
Yeah, but I've heard that they're only non-toxic on the top part, but then if you scratch them up, it is toxic. So I think I scratched them up too much, but the Hexclad pants are really cool. First of all, they're really cool looking. They're like checkered hexagon with like stainless steel and non-stick.
Okay.
They're really cool.
I need to look them up. I have no idea what they look like. I didn't even know he had new pants out.
No,
or that
I
he
think
ever had a kitchenware.
Yeah, I think it's been a thing for a while, and I kind of was like, oh, maybe this is a gimmick. But honestly, Gordon Ramsay would not put his name on some BS. Like, him. No. He's too prideful. So
I mean, he's like literally legit. He would literally never do that.
No, he would never. So I've been really enjoying them a lot, and I feel that they're so easy to clean. So highly recommend. And the knives are really sharp. I'm scared to use them.
Like the spatulas?
No, the ones that I got did not, but it did come with a lid.
Oh, okay, perfect.
For the pan and the pot, so.
Perfect.
So yeah, if you guys are looking for any new pans, that's my update.
I literally am looking for a new pan, but not just yet. So let me know in about 3 months how you feel about Gordon.
Maybe I'll do a follow-up video, because by the time you're watching this, I will have posted a video about it, saying that I love them, which is true. And we'll see how they hold up over time. That's the test of a good pan.
I'm ready. I'm ready to cook things up.
You ready to cook things up with Emily? Let her cook?
Yeah, I am. I'm feeling funny.
Show everybody that your UK cover. They're very different. I mean, they're like kind of not, but they're kind of... That one looks more Michigan, though, doesn't it? This one's very... Although they're drinking their lavender lemonade, which is cute. One thing I actually would like to talk about briefly before we get started on this is when the heck, and not to be one of those crowd is chanting more moments, when are we getting new Taylor music? I'm itching for it. It's been 1 year since TTPD officially.
No, I feel like I'm like kind of out of my Taylor listening phase right now. I'm definitely, like, what am I listening to right now? I couldn't tell you. But, Noah Khan, that is who I'm listening to. And also... Unfortunately, like, you guys are gonna cancel me. Zach Bryan.
Wait, why do we hate? Oh, because of the Brianna chicken fry of it all?
Yeah.
Wait, that was Zach Bryan?
His songs are kind of good.
Really?
Zach Bryan. Yeah.
Well, you know who I unfortunately think is good, but is really cancelable as well, is Morgan
Wait, I
Wallen.
want to know. Oh, I was gonna say, that's what I was gonna say.
Oh, yeah. But I don't, like, actively listen. I just like 2 of his songs, though.
I have like a Sunday chill playlist that I listen to. Going back to Taylor, I think she deserves this break, dude. Like, was literally on tour for so effing long.
No, she does, and I'm all for self-care. Same thing with Rebecca Yarros and not writing the next Fourth Wing book immediately. Like, I get it, but also get back in the studio right now. Nobody wants to work these days. Get up and work.
Yeah, look at us being like such hard workers. No, I'm ready, and also I have no idea what she would even write about.
No, she would write about being freaking in love.
No, but I can't, Nikki. Like, I can't listen to her being in love with Travis.
Why?
I love them. I don't know, like...
So High School is such a banger.
I'm like one of those.
You don't like So High School?
No, it's sweet. The Alchemy.
You like The Alchemy. I'm a hater, but... It's giving I
don't mind it.
That my Travie made it to the big game. Huh?
That's the wrong one. But that's literally what I don't know. I'm still with TTPD.
Although it is crazy, I also kind of fell off of my TTPD era of listening. And then I put it on the other day and I was like, oh, it's so good. Like, it's so good. It's like you get out of it and then you listen and you're like, oh my God.
I actually was at the gym this weekend, and let me pull it up actually so I can say it right. Oh, it's the wrong phone. I put on Taylor Swift to pump me up for my running, and there is a playlist named Aggressively Running to Taylor Swift, and that's the one I listened to. However, there was like what song was it? I think it was The Alchemy was in there. Like Down Bad wasn't like those are pretty slow. I can't run aggressively.
Well, I do have a Taylor Swift workout playlist if you want to listen to that.
I would actually.
I think it's literally called TS Workout. I haven't updated it in a while because, I don't really work out a lot, but I do have one.
Well, send it to me. Send it to me, sister. I'm ready.
I will. All right, gang. Are we ready? I'm ready to jump into this book. This is one of my favorite romance books I've read ever, probably. So.
Shut your mouth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nikki, you can't be saying that though.
No, but that's how I feel. Why can't I say that?
You're right. Freedom of speech.
Let me speak. What, you don't feel like this is up there for you, like top 10?
No, I did. I actually really, really loved it. I don't know about top freaking books I've ever read. I read too many.
Yeah.
It's because I read more than you, so I have more lived experience.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that you read so much.
Yeah, so, okay, well, I'm glad. It was really cute. Isn't Miles so dreamy?
Yes, I was going to ask you, and you don't have to answer this right now. You can mull it over for a future episode. I'm curious of what your favorite book ever is. Do you have like an immediate answer? If I said like, what's your favorite book, go.
Yeah, I usually have like a safe answer. It's not been updated recently, not the software update.
Oh, I know what it is.
I usually say
the people we mean having the 5 people or yeah. But like,
I usually say that one.
If you were talking to like a girly. Because you can't tell them like The Deal by Hal Kennedy is your favorite book. You know what I mean?
Literally. Hello. Probably something Sally Rooney I think is good. Like Normal People was really good.
That's like a really hot take, I fear. Don't people not like her?
But a lot of people, her books aren't like love stories. That's the thing.
I need to give one a try, but I think that from what I've heard, I wouldn't like them.
I don't think so either, but you might. It's like very open-ended-y kind of thing.
Okay. Makes you ponder.
Yeah, and it makes you frustrated and sad and a little bit depressed. So yeah, perfect.
Well, you probably know my favorite book.
ACOTAR?
Which one?
The number 2.
Yeah, Mist and Fury. It's a basic answer, but I stand on that. I don't care what anyone says.
I don't know. I honestly don't think I guess I could say ACOTAR, but that would be false.
You want to hear something that's really going to make you mad?
Time.
One of my probably, honestly, top 5 favorite books ever was Onyx Storm.
That's so wonderful for you, Nikki. Thank you, everybody, for having me today.
I gotta go. Anyways, okay, let's talk about this favorite book. Funny story. So we're just going to kind of go through, recap the events that happened throughout the book, and just chit chat in between. So if anybody has any comments, please feel free to answer these questions alongside us in the comment section, which there is also a comment section on Spotify if you didn't know. I didn't know that for a while, but...
Okay, so today we are talking about Funny Story by Emily Henry. And I will just kick things off. I'll do the first half. Nick will do the second half. And we can kind of chitty chat throughout. But Funny Story is about Daphne. I feel there's a few main characters. Daphne, who is a 30-something living in Michigan. She was engaged to Peter, who also lived in Michigan. And Miles, she was not engaged to Miles. This is so confusing.
Sister wives. It's really hard to explain the premise of this book.
Correct.
If you read the book, you get it. And the only people watching at this
point
are people who read the
you guys kind of know what
happens
in the first scene. Anyway, goodbye, everyone.
Thanks for watching our episode, guys. Okay, enough.
Oh, God. Okay, I'm delusional. Okay, so the book starts off with Daphne essentially being blindsided by her fiance, Peter, who left her for his childhood best friend, like we said, who is Petra. So for whatever freaking reason, Petra goes to Peter's bachelor party. That's kind of how like the whole book kicks off, is she goes to his bachelor party. First of all, weird. And it's like her and all of his guy friends. And Daphne kind of says like throughout the night, people start like trickling off and it ends up just being them two. He ends up coming home later that night, wakes her up and is like, hey, so really quick, let me just tell you, Petra and I just made out earlier tonight, and I think I'm in love with her. Here is a listing to some apartments so you can move out.
Oh my God.
That was so annoying, first of all, because he just seemed like such a friggin' butthole. But
how dare he?
A big theme in their relationship, even before kind of all of this happens, and as she's like reflecting in the beginning, is how she always kind of romanticized how they met and them kind of meeting and then the whirlwind of a relationship. And I think that was like a big theme of why she kind of got swept up. And she goes to kind of explain how she moved to Michigan with him because she's kind of reflecting at this point, moves for him. He buys a house that she then moves into. She like leaves all of her worldly belongings back in Richmond with her friends and just kind of like uproots her life and moves to Michigan, Waning Beach with Peter. So when he ends up like leaving her and choosing Petra over her, she's left with nothing. So I thought that was kind of really sad, and I feel like that's always a theme. I feel like I hear it, and I know like my mom's always kind of like, do things for you, like build a life that you really love so that when someone comes, they're like a value add and not just like your whole everything. Which I thought was like really sad.
Well, it's crazy because I feel like that's the big risk of moving with somebody, especially if they have roots there and you don't. Because it's one thing if they were both moving to a new place or whatever, but like since he already had all these friends there, she never even made any new friends. She like only became friends with his friends. So when they broke up, she was lost. She didn't know her way around. She didn't know anyone. It was like, yeah, she had her job, but that was all.
Yeah.
So it's like you gotta, especially women, like we gotta hold our own.
Yeah, we gotta hold our own. And I will say, as the if you guys heard our Abby episode, I am the long distance relationship expert.
Yes.
That was always a big thing for me and for my boyfriend. It was like, we're gonna move somewhere that's like neutral for both of us, like net new, so that he's not coming to LA to be with my friends and be sucked into my world, and I'm not moving to Dublin just to be thrown into his. I feel like that's always like a good place, because now we're here and we have friends and I have friends and he has friends, and it's like it's kind of like equal in where we're both trying to build our life separate but also together.
I feel like that's a similar thing with moving in with people, where it's like it's hard to, when I first moved in with Ricky, it was moving into his apartment, and so it didn't feel like it was a neutral space that we both shared. It was like his place, you know, even though now that I've moved in, it's my place. So I feel like this is kind of the same vibe. And even that, like in this book, it was his house. Like he had his name on it. She didn't have any stake in the house. So he was able to be like, okay, you have a week to move out by.
Yeah.
Here's
it was
the
really
listings.
sad. And then, with literally the listing. And then he goes, oh, she's waiting for me now. Like about Petra waiting outside. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, oh, perfect. She's literally right here.
I was so mad.
Did you want to come inside? Does she want to move in right now, actually?
And the way that she was
like, I will leave.
You're moving out so soon. And he's like, oh, these are for you.
Yeah. Actually, you are leaving. And then I love, though, because I really liked Daphne's character. I feel like she was really funny, and she also was kind of like awkward, but in like a good way. And she was also lost, whatever. And where I listened to the beginning of this in audiobook, and when she's yelling at him and she like the audiobook person, how do you call it?
The narrator.
Actor. The narrator is like yelling in my ears, and I was like, oh my god, and she like throws almonds at his car.
I feel like Daphne just feels like a real normal person, whereas a lot of book characters, it feels like a character, but this is that's like totally something I would do. She like wakes up, he's waking her up, she's like, what do you mean? Like, what are you talking about? And then she like chases them out. I'm like, girl, honestly, I get it.
I know. I love that. Okay, so then this is where kind of it picks up to, she throws the almonds at their car. They're driving away into the sunset. And Miles, like a few minutes later, shows up to her house looking for Petra, being like, is she here? And Daphne's like, no, they're literally both gone. So this is when Miles is introduced. And Miles, again, was the ex-boyfriend of Petra. So now he's left without a girlfriend. And she just left a note on their coffee table to be like, okay, bye. And like taking all my crap now. Which is so like, I love Miles. And I'm like, my poor little baby.
That's my Jayla.
Basically, they're then both left heartbroken. And I think that it's in that moment where Daphne's like, hey, so like, are you looking for a roommate? because I have literally nowhere to live. Or like, do you have an extra room kind of thing? And then it kind of cuts off. But I feel like this really goes to throughout the beginning of the book, it kind of goes back to Daphne's relationship with her mom and like when she felt alone and wasn't being chosen, and she kind of explained some of her previous trauma of that, of like always feeling second best or always waiting around for people, and you
Yeah,
can kind
because
of
her
see that
dad
throughout the
like
book.
really
Yeah, you
did
can
her
see
in.
that when she's like doesn't like when people are late, or she like calls out like one of her friends for being late, and then when Miles doesn't show up, like you can kind of see that throughout, which I
Mm-hmm.
resonate with a little, of just like she doesn't want to expect things from people because like they will kind of always let her down. And now this exact same thing happened when she felt like her whole life was already kind of set up to succeed, and then he threw her out and gave her an apartment listing cut
Yeah.
out. So yeah, then we dive into essentially like the fake dating of it all. So Daphne and Miles become roommates. They mostly do their own thing for the most part. They kind of harp on it throughout the whole book, but she has like a big calendar that
Oh
she
yeah.
put up on their wall and like planned her life to a T, and then all of her crap is in their room, or is in her room from the house that they used to live in with Peter. Um she comes home one day and she sees Miles like face down, and she's like, "Oh my god, literally I thought you were dead. Like what's wrong?" And he shows her the wedding invite that they have both received to Peter and Petra's
Oh
wedding,
my
which is in
god.
3 months, and they have only technically, I guess, been dating for like a month at that point. Um, I kind of wanted to talk about like why in their right mind do they invite them? Like, I don't get that.
It's because they're embarrassed and they feel bad. And they're like, "Oh, we could still be friends." It's like that BS of when you break up with somebody and you're like, "But I just still really care about you. You're still my best friend," you know? And it's like
I
they probably
know.
feel guilty for what they did, obviously. And so they're like, "Yeah, let's just invite them as like a pity invite," obviously not thinking that they were going to do it and they were going to say yes.
But that's so awkward
It's
to just
so
send the invite. Like, that's literally so awkward.
I mean, some people have their exes at their wedding, but it's not in a situation like this. Like, you got to have
But
years and years of
couldn't
friendship.
be us.
Couldn't be me. I would literally freak out. I don't even know what I would do if I
Yeah.
got that, to be honest. I'm trying to
I don't
put
even
myself in
think
that
that like
situation.
normal people would do that. Like these people are just like narcissists.
But, like, think about if this happened to you, what would you do? I feel like I would just text them and be like, "What is wrong with you?" I don't know.
Literally.
Or I would, well,
Yeah.
if I'm being really honest, I'd probably make a TikTok expose about it.
Yeah, it's true. The lore behind all of that. Okay. They basically get the wedding invite. Daphne freaks out, and then Miles is like, "Oh shit, I probably shouldn't have even showed you." Like, of course, we're both all messed up about this still. They end up drinking the night away,
Yeah.
and they end up at a bar, basically determined to not let Peter and Petra get them down. They're trying to move on. They're trying to just like have fun, let loose, blah 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 blah. They go to, what was the bar called? Not in Butcher.
Oh,
I forget. But
I
they end up
forget, but
meeting
they
this
made the
biker.
guy.
Yeah, is it his name Gail? I wrote Gail, but I don't actually
I
even know
think
if
it
that's
was Gil.
right. Gil.
Yeah.
Who may or may not be a hitman and who may or may not own a litter of kittens. So they basically get really twisted at the bar. They end up walking home and like stumbling, trying to get the key in the lock. And that's kind of when Daphne starts to be like, wait a second, Miles is fly. So she's like kind of like starting to be like, wait, he's kind of like rugged and cool and like tattooed
Mm-hmm.
guy. I love Miles, if you couldn't tell. Um,
Love.
I think we got this question, but I think this is obviously when things start to kick off, things start to get like real juicy. Like, what do you think, Nick, of like the roommate trope, forced proximity? They kind of end up in the
Love.
same place, and
This
you
is
don't
like,
like it?
no, love. This is
Oh,
like
oh,
my
love.
favorite. I feel like this is up there with favorite types of tropes where it's like the one bed trope, the forced proximity. Like, I just feel like it's such a fun, and the roommate thing is like a fun twist on the one bed trope, you know, where it's like,
Yeah,
I don't know. I just feel like that's so. And obviously, it was the like don't shit where you eat issue of like, I don't want to date my roommate. I don't want to date my coworker. I don't want to date whatever. Like, I don't know. It's like she could have just moved out if she really needed to desperately. It's like just be with him.
yeah,
Just be in love,
exactly.
you know?
I know, I know. I love it. I also think, I think like when I first read this through, I was kind of like, that's kind of weird, the exes, and then they end up
Yeah.
together kind of thing.
It's like
But
Eskimo sisters almost.
yeah, but didn't that happen with, is it Shania Twain? Like her ex-husband and her best friend ended up together, and then she ended up with her ex best friend's husband, and now like they've been together forever.
What? I've literally never heard of this.
I'm pretty sure that's right, and if not, I'm so sorry, Shania. Like I'm pretty sure that's right though.
Wait, that's kind of iconic
Like
though, honestly.
yeah, I think that was her. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I like it too. I think it's cute, and I also just I like that their personalities were so different, and you can kind of see that from the beginning. But then once they're living together and they see the little like things that make them kind of like more endeared to each other, I think it's really I love it.
I love it. Yeah, I just
Um,
fun.
I know. So after this, they're like basically she thinks he's fly, and she is waking up the next day, and she's like, "Oh my God, I'm so hungover. Like, what have I done?" Kind of basically blacked out. She said she's like, "I don't remember parts, but like things keep coming to me." Um, and then the most important thing comes to her via a phone call, and that is Peter, and he's like, hello, excuse me, I saw that you RSVP'd to my wedding." And she's like, "Holy shiz!" I saw in the thing she's like on the phone, and she goes.
Literally,
So I
can you
thought that
even
was funny.
imagine?
Like
I'm surprised she
silent
picked up the
screaming.
phone.
No, I would not have picked up, first of all.
No.
Yeah. And he's like, "Why are you like you're coming? Like you really don't have to, and like you especially don't have to come alone." And she's like, "Guess what? I'm not coming alone. I have a boyfriend."
Yeah, because
And he's
he's
like,
like,
"Well,
you're
you didn't
gonna
get a
be.
+1."
Yeah, yeah. You didn't put +1, and she's like, well, my +1's already gonna be there. Smiles. So
Yeah. And he's like really fly. And I think he has tattoos. Anyway, um anyway, so he's making her feel bad, but she's like, "You know what? I'm with Miles." And he's like, "Well, it's in 3 months." And she's like, "Yeah, well, we're gonna be in love by then, so
Ew, when
you're
he said that, I
welcome."
was so mad. He's like, well, it's in 3 months. And she's like, yeah, and?
Yeah, I know. Oh, honestly, Peter pisses me the F off.
No, that literally, he is so, and I can just picture his smug little face.
I could picture it right in my friggin' head. You know who I picture him as? Did you ever watch the movie Something Borrowed
No.
with Kate Hudson and the other girl? John Krasinski's in it too. Anyway, it's the main character, Dex. Um,
Well, you know
that's
who
what I
I
picture him
picture
as.
is, did you ever watch Blue Mountain State?
No,
That like really, really, really crude and stupid college show.
no.
There's this like gigantic, tall, blonde football player man in there, and in the show he's like really dumb and weird, but that's who I picture. Like this big,
What's his actor name or his real life name? I guess.
I don't know. He's like kind of a not a
Hmm.
very well-known actor. I think he was in something more recently, but basically just picture like a 6'6" blonde, perfect looking, like literally just like a Ken doll looking man, but like kind of dopey.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah.
Oh, he kind of looks like what's his name? The guy that married Giselle, the model, and then left her like a dang fool.
Oh, who I freaking hate, Tom Brady.
Yeah, doesn't he look like John Brady?
Oh my God, Tom Brady is so Peter. I'm like the number one Tom Brady hater out there. So,
Why? I don't know him like that.
have you seen the video of him kissing his kid? That's why I hate him. But
Yeah.
I'll send you that later. If you know, you know. You guys let me know.
Okay, I'm terrified, first
Yeah.
of all. Um, anyway,
Anyway,
so anyway,
anywho's,
that's when they start the like fake dating trope, which I also really like a fake dating trope. Um, and after that, Daphne's life starts kind of like trying to slowly like piece itself together. So she's getting along with Miles. They're like friendly-ish. She thinks he's kind of fly. And then back at, did I say this? Daphne's the librarian, you guys. Like the coolest job ever,
yeah,
first
little
of all.
children's librarian. How cute
How cute.
with her story time.
And she kind of describes her story times are so sweet. She kind of describes like her job being like her only thing that she like really loves. So she starts slowly but surely like befriending Ashley, who is another librarian, and they end up going on a friend date to a winery because Ashley wants to let loose. Her son is out with his papa, and they end up going to Cherry Hill. I'm going to name it. I think that's right. Which is coincidentally where Miles works. So they end up going there, and Ashley's like, wait, are we going to like the really cool wine bar where that really sexy drug dealer works, or the other one? And she's like, oh, I have no idea who you're talking about, but sure. Turns out Miles is the sexy drug dealer. And she's like, Miles is a drug dealer? And
she's like, no, we just call him that.
Yeah. But Daphne decides to tell Ashley, like, this is what's going on. This is fake, first of all. And she's like, well, you're a fool because Miles is dang cute. And that's when they kind of start to be friends and hang out, and they see each other at the library now, and they're like friendly. Where before, she just kind of would do her own thing. And I think I like this part of the book and like her growth, because it's like when you are with someone and they're your whole life, I feel like that's kind of how she felt and described it in the beginning. And there was so much around her that she didn't see. And now that she's like rose-colored glasses off, Peter is long gone. She's like, wait, I could have been doing this whole time. And it's kind of sad, but it's also kind of nice that she gets like a second chance to do it all over again, basically.
Yeah, I feel like it's interesting because Daphne is sort of not even shy, but like she doesn't go out of her way to make friends. And so being in the relationship with Peter, it was like that's all she needed was her partner, and she went to work and she did her thing. And like now she's kind of like, oh, I actually have to pay more attention to the people around me. And by doing that, she was like, oh, maybe I could actually be friends with my coworker Ashley. Like, she's kind of cool, you know? It's like forcing her to get outside of her comfort zone.
It makes me kind of sad though. Like, I feel like that's always something that I try to not to do. It's just, I feel like it's hard when you make somebody your whole world.
Yeah, it's really hard.
But it's like, you have to marry them, and they kind of have to be.
Yeah, I know it's like a fine line because you obviously want to be obsessed with your partner and want to be able to hang out with them all the time. But it's like, I feel like we'll touch on this even more later, but it's like, how can you be a wee little unit, but then also have a community? You know, it's like you can't put all your eggs into one basket because then your life is just going to crumble if that something happens, you know?
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is basically the beginning of Ashley and Daphne, power couple, gal pals that they are. And then during this time, obviously, she's kind of continuing with her everyday library routine. Now she has Ashley, she has Miles, even though they're kind of like a little bit awkward after they had that fake dating run-in, and people are starting to find out, like that girl at the wine bar was kind of like, oh, is that your girlfriend now? Because I heard from Petra that you're dating somebody. So they kind of forge a friendship, and now she's kind of confiding in him, being like, yeah, Peter and I had this like everything scheduled to a T. Like, we would go to the gym together and like do our own things, and we would cook, and I would be in charge of this and he would be in charge of this, and just kind of like how, I don't know, it felt very like strict how she was with Peter. And he's like, wait, you haven't been to this place? Like, you haven't been here or here? Like, he didn't show you Jack. So he basically promises to show her around Waning
Bay, I think it was.
Waning
Which
Bay,
unfortunately I looked up and it's not real.
Really? That sounds kind of real.
No, I thought so too. It's based on Traverse City loosely, apparently, which I think they mention in the book is like a neighboring town or something. But
that's where Peter was from.
Yes.
Wasn't it?
Well, like I've mentioned a bunch, I really want to go to Michigan. I've like always wanted to go there, and Waning Bay is not real because I was like, oh, let's go. But
I want to go. When I was looking at properties in Michigan, and I was like, they're so cheap.
Me too. I'm like, dang, this book made me want to move there 100%.
I know.
Okay, fine, I'll move.
So
fine.
Cute. Okay, fine. So then basically Miles will show you around Waning Bay and everything it has to offer. And this prompts a series of like mini Sunday, I'm gonna call them dates, adventures that they go on. So they go through like a few throughout the book, but a very important and key one, I think, is literally their first one, where he's like, let's go. We're going to go to my favorite places. He takes her like on a little produce shop. He goes to the asparagus stand with the two ladies that are hilarious, that are like obsessed with him. And then he takes her to get, is it honey? And then lavender. I know, so cute.
I know.
And they're at the lavender farm. and things get real serious. So
Guess
they're at
who
the lavender
freaking
farm
shows
having
up?
some lavender cake, which sounds bomb.
Oh, I want that.
And looking out into the lavender fields, and then she turns around and she's like,
Stupid
"Holy
Steve.
Peter, it's friggin' Peter."
Ugh.
And he sees them, and then he like walks towards them, which I'm like, dude, go freaking away.
Literally
like,
go away.
Oh, just leave
He's
him
so
alone.
annoying.
He's so annoying. So he like approaches them, and he's like, "Hey, Daphne, can I talk to you for a second?"
No.
And I would have been like, "Now."
Yeah, now.
And she's like, "Okay, sure." Miles, go wait in the car. So Miles goes, waits in the car,
And
he's
he like
"How
waits
are
and he's
you?"
standing over there like this.
Yeah, with the door propped open.
Yeah, like arms crossed.
I know. And Peter's like, "How are you?" And she's like, "I'm great. How are you?" Anyway, he starts talking smack about Miles, and that's when she's like, no. Like, she already starts thinking that he's fly. She, like, kind of has a soft spot for him now. Doesn't know a ton about him, but she's like, I know that he's the good guy and that Peter might be kind of shitty, actually, after all. And so she's like, no, 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 no. No talking about Miles. He is fly. Goodbye. Turns around, walks straight to Miles, and it's like, oh my, she's like, can you kiss me? And he's like, okay.
And then kiss they
Goes in for the kiss.
baby.
Bucks, like, what is it? They clank their teeth together and they're like laughing. And then they start getting it on, you guys. I'm not gonna put that on it. They're kissing on the hood of the truck.
Basically,
on the passenger seat. Kissing. And then she's like, is he looking about Peter? And he's like, yeah. And then they continue kissing. And then she kind of forgets about Peter.
Yeah,
completely.
She didn't even care about Peter. She wanted some of that Miles. Woo. Dude, I was so mad when Peter was like, oh, Miles, like, yeah, he's like a loser. Like, he basically was just saying, oh, he can't like hold down a job. He can't this. Like, I forgot what specifically he said, but it made me viscerally, like, I was fuming. I was like, how dare you, you nasty little hoe? Because I hate guys who are very all about like, yeah, like my job is better than yours and my family's better than yours and my this. It's like, who cares? You're rude.
I know. And like the little comments that he would say, because she kind of was saying like, oh, I don't know, like Peter always said you did like odd jobs. Like, that's rude.
That's rude. It's like, let the man do what he wants. He loves to work at the winery. Like, sue him. What? Sorry,
Yeah,
he's good
I
at
know.
talking to
I
people
hate
and wants
that.
to be a server. Like, let him do whatever he wants.
I know. I hate that too. Oh, he was so like, is it the right word, condescending? Like,
Oh, totally.
being like, oh, you deserve so much better than Miles. Like, sir?
Yeah, and better
Get
than
lost.
you, stupid.
Yeah, I know.
Ugh.
Oh, I hate Peter.
Peter's the worst.
But then they end up kissing.
Yeah.
It was worth it.
That whole date was like my dream. Like riding around in his little truck, and they were going to this produce stands and the flower fields. Like, oh my God.
No, I loved it. Honestly, that part made me like so giddy because Miles was portrayed as like he was nice and he was funny and he was like kind of like soft punk guy, you know, like tattoos,
Like a little stoner guy.
Yeah, like a little stoner guy, like a little biker gang guy, but he was really sweet. Oh my goodness.
Oh, and I
love
think
him.
it was so cute, and like what makes them such a good fit for each other is kind of like you said before, how she's a little bit more like she just has a harder time connecting with strangers and connecting with people. And even in the very beginning of the book, where it's like Peter would always tell the story of how we met because like I'm kind of awkward and I'm bad at storytelling
Yeah.
and whatever. And Miles is the exact opposite, and every person that he went up to was like, hey, how's this? Like, they love him. They're so like, and she would keep describing him as like sunshine. Like he was like the
Yeah.
sun radiating towards, and I was like, that is just so special and sweet. And I feel like a lot of relationships are like that, where one person is like the social butterfly and the other one just like likes to sit back and admire, you know?
Yeah, I feel like you and Ricky are both.
Yeah, we're both social butterflies. I feel like me more than him in certain situations.
Mm,
I feel like he is a social butterfly around people he already knows.
yeah.
But when we get into
He's pretty
groups of strangers, yeah, he's like an introverted extrovert, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because he comes alive around people he knows. But me, I'm alive all times, you know? Like, you get me around a group of people and I want to perform. And he always, like, I
That's
can always just
crazy.
tell that he's just looking at me like, here she goes again.
Yeah, there she goes. That's my girl.
Yeah, that's my girl. And I'm all over there like, ah, you know.
That's her. Like, is this your man? That's my man.
That's my man.
That's that
That's
voice.
mine. Look at the screen. Is this your man? That's mine. Yeah, that's me. That's how he is with me. I can tell it's adoration that he loves it. He's always like, yeah, I
Oh,
just love how you will talk to anyone. And I'm like, well, I'm
he's
a
gonna
yapper.
love that you literally never shut your
Yeah,
mouth.
yeah. He's like, yeah, so you never really shut up. I'm like, yeah.
But I feel like though I've been to your house and been like, okay, can we just sit in silence? And like you could also do that.
Oh, I mean, Tauruses, you and I, we love to be quiet and read and sleep.
I love that sound.
Yeah, have I told you guys the
I
story
love
about
to
how
sleep.
sometimes Mariana will be in town but staying with like her sister or something, and I'll have to basically beg her to come sleep over, and she's like, "Okay, I'll come, but you have to literally, you can't speak to me." And I'm like, "Okay, fine, come on."
You're like, can you come over? I'm like, only if you'd promise not to talk to me.
Yeah. Because the other problem is we're like, "Oh, let's do like a readathon," or she'll spend the night and like we'll read the whole time or whatever. But she has a great attention span. I do not, as we've established. And so we'll be reading and I'll look over and I'll be like, hey, what are you doing? And she's
Or
like,
be like,
shut
oh,
up.
this book. Or you will literally just start scrolling on your
Yeah,
phone.
and then you look over and you're like, this is why you don't finish books on time because you're always on TikTok. And I'm like, you would be correct about that.
I'm just saying literal facts.
Sorry about it. Sorry
Sure about it. Okay, let's get back to the recap because
Okay.
you haven't even started your portion. I hope you know.
Yeah.
They basically start hanging out more on the weekends. They start going on like ATV rides, I think it was, where she's like holding onto his legs. She's like scared.
Oh my God,
And
it's
she's
summer
basically
love.
starting to be like, wait, Miles, you're fly. I like you, but obviously we're roommates, so we're gonna keep the peace. Like I haven't stopped thinking about the kiss, and like neither have you, but like let's
Oh, she
just
keeps
keep
daydreaming
it
about it.
PG. Yeah, literally daydreaming about it. Keeping it PG. Then one night they take it rated R, and they start kissing on the couch, and then his phone starts ringing, and it keeps ringing, and he's like, just ignore it, and then ringing, ringing,
Oh,
ringing.
and they're
Turns
like
out it's his
getting hot and
sister.
heavy, big time.
I know. I was trying to keep it PG for the kids.
Oh, these
They're getting
kids,
hot and heavy, you guys.
majorly. And wasn't this?
Mate.
No, I guess they didn't get too hot. There was no like well, fingers.
There was some clothes came off.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what a
Clothes had to
dream.
be put back on because Julia enters the chat. His sister, Julia, calls Miles and is like, hey, brother, I'm literally at the airport. You need to come pick me up. Like, let's hang out. I'm here to help you because I know you're brokenhearted. And he's like, I was literally just making out with my roommate. So
I was like kind of dreading it when they said that the sister was coming because I was like, oh my God, she's going to be a problem. I thought she was going to be like, oh, so annoying because he had issues with his family. Couldn't be more
yeah,
opposite. I love this sweet little girl.
could not be more opposite. Julia is a character and a half. I am obsessed with her.
I
Like I
love
think
her.
she's so funny. Like every line that they give her, like if she's a real person, that they write for her is I think it's hilarious, and I like how she interacts with other people, and she's also like very free-spirited. She ends up moving into their place indefinitely. And Miles, I like how he's like, "Can you just pretend you like the beard?" Because she's gonna give him
Yeah,
shit for
yeah.
it. And she's like, I don't know, I like the beard. And Julia's like,
You
he told you
lied.
to say
Yeah.
that.
That was fun to listen to on audiobook. I kind of switched back and forth. And the audio, if you guys, I mean, everybody probably already read it at this point, the audio was good. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I liked the narrator for this for sure. I wonder if it's the same girl for you and for me.
I was listening
Probably.
on Spotify.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, okay. So Julia is a vibe, and basically she's like, let's go out, you guys. And they're both like, we're literally 35. Like, we're not going out. Convinces them to go out. They already had plans to go out with Ashley in like the next few days. So they end up all going out with Ashley and Daphne and Miles. And everybody can see there's kind of a vibe
To the
between
barn.
Miles and Daphne. They're kind of like, ooh, they've already had a hot makeup session. Two, actually, one PG and one not so PG. And so they're both kind of like, I think they're more like touchy and more like free with like the hugs and everything. And Ashley notices, and she basically is like, okay, what's going on with you and Miles the next day when they're both at work? And she's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. She's like, no, there was literally a vibe. So she kind of tells her like, oh no, we promised that we would just keep it PG slash rated R sometimes, but mostly like we don't want to blur any lines because we're roommates and we want to keep the peace, and they don't want to make anything more complicated. So she is like, okay, sure, whatever you say, girl. Like, just know that Miles is fly, and he was looking at you. And she's like, I think that was, I remember her saying, like, that was reassuring that I wasn't like making this
Yeah.
up. Because you know, when you're like in a situation and you're like, oh, he
Yes.
totally likes me. And then it's like, I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, I feel like I'm always the friend who's like, oh, like this guy likes you. Like, I feel like I like to kind of watch and be like, he loves
You like
you.
to instigate.
Yeah, yeah, maybe some might call it that. I was thinking, more like matchmaking, soulmate
Yeah.
finding, things like that.
Yeah, call you Cupid.
Yeah, even though I've never like successfully matched two people together, really, but you know,
Yeah, you're so
I
right.
could work
Yeah,
on it.
you're 0% match rate, so I'm not gonna go with you. Um, but yes, essentially they agreed we're gonna be friends, peace and love, and that's kind of when we dive a little bit more into Daphne and Ashley's friendship. Um, Turned out, Daphne comes home one day from work and she's scrolling her Instagram as one does. She stumbles upon a photo and she's like, OMG, that's my literal ex best friend Sadie with Petra
Uh,
and Peter. And would you look at that? They're in Richmond and they went to go
uh,
visit them. And I think that's another thing throughout the beginning half of the book where she does keep referencing how her friendship with Sadie was kind of like a grounding thing for her. It was like always her and her mom, and then it was her and Sadie, and then it was her and Peter. And so she was never like going back to like the we of the situation. She was always the we and she was never alone. And
mhm,
Sadie was a part of that. And when Peter left her, Sadie and her boyfriend Cooper were like, we love you. Like, we're always going to be friends with you. Like, we.
mhm,
But then literally never called her and never followed up, which is so shady. Like, that's so
mhm,
sad. Especially, it's like if your friend from college, like, stopped talking to you,
mhm.
messed up.
I know. I feel like
So,
the Sadie, like, to me, was kind of an odd character where I don't think the story, like, that was one character that I felt like she could have done without, even though now that I think about it, like, it really did add to the depth of the situation. Where it's kind of like she lost everything in the breakup when it's like that time when friends like pick sides, in a
yeah.
breakup. Even though it didn't seem like she was really picking sides necessarily, but I think that like she says at the end, she was like, I just didn't know if you'd want to hear from me or hear from us because we are so close with them too. It's just like
But
the
that's
whole thing is awkward.
I think it's like it kind of shows her personality too because she also didn't reach out. It's like
Yeah,
she was expecting people to come to her
right.
where same thing happened at the library. Like she had to kind of like take a risk and be like, I'll go out with you, Ashley. Like
Hmm.
that was out of character for her to begin with. So I think it did kind of build her character a little bit, but it was kind of random. And I think that she brought her in kind of when she needed her throughout the book and not any more than that. But
Yeah.
anyway, she sees the photo, has a mental breakdown, and she's like, Ashley, like whatever your random side gig is, like I want in. Turns out it's a poker game that they play every week
With Harvey.
with Harvey from the library and one of the girls. What is it? Loretta? No, that's wrong. I forget her
Lorena
name.
and Barb,
Yeah,
potentially the asparagus people.
from the asparagus stand. And she has like the best time ever. And I think this is like a pretty good breakthrough moment for her when Daphne and Ashley are walking out and she is like hugging her and just basically have like a heart to heart about the we. Was that it? Oh, like you sound like a we girl.
No, that happened
Always
later.
needing someone.
That was when
Really?
she had the issue with the birthday.
No, she brought it up then too.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think this was
Mm.
like the first introduction of the we being like, you were a wee girl, and she's like, what's a wee girl? Like a
Oh,
wee
yeah.
girl? And yeah, I guess like, what do we think about them becoming friends? I feel like I like their dynamic a lot. Like I love Ashley. I think she's actually hilarious, and she also is like a mom, so puts up with no one's crap.
Yeah.
And I think Daphne has like a few things she can learn from her.
Well, first of all, the kid's name Mulder. That's random. I was like, what
Yeah,
even
what
is
is that?
that?
It's from a book,
Mulder?
but I didn't get the reference.
Oh, I didn't get it either. I love reading about female friendships when it's done right. This is partially why I didn't love Happy Place because I felt like the friendship dynamic was like toxic in a way, which I know was like part of the story, at the end and whatnot. But this felt like a real like healthy friendship, even though they're like oddballs, you know? And it's like coworker
Yeah.
friends. Coworker friends are so fun, where it's like you
Yeah.
spill all your dirty secrets to these people that you don't even know because you're coworkers. And then when you
Yeah.
can bridge the gap of like being a coworker friend to a real life friend, it's like so cool, you know? Because
I
it's like
love
somebody
that.
you might not have met in general. So I felt like this was a fun piece. And I also loved how Julia kind of like started becoming Ashley's friend. She's like, "Oh, me and Ashley are gonna go do this." It was like a cute little trio, and
Yeah.
it felt special. I loved
It
them.
felt it felt special, and it also felt like maybe it's because the friendships in this are older, and I liked how she
Yeah,
wrote them to be a little bit more old, like old and not old, ancient, older and more
more
mature
mature.
take
Mm-hmm.
versus in Happy Place. They were all fresh out of college, I think,
Yeah, I
weren't
think
they?
so.
So it was kind of like they didn't know what they were doing. Like nobody freaking does. And
Yeah.
I felt like I saw Daphne be able to like pull things from Ashley's personality, except for the being late part, but also like speak her truth. And I think Ashley brought
Mm-hmm.
that out of her too, where she's like, oh, okay, like, yeah, you really, Richmond people really do say it, give it to you straight kind of thing. Like, oh, I don't like you because you were always late. Like, sorry.
Yeah.
So I really like that.
Yeah, it was a good mix because they were so different that they were able to like help each other in different ways. And I feel like friendships as an adult, when you have known somebody since like childhood or since high school or since college, are different than people that you meet when you're older. Because like
Yeah.
Daphne was what, 33, Ashley was 40 or something like that. So it's like a different dynamic when you meet someone who's already been like healed versus when you go through that with someone into adulthood. I feel like it's harder to like lasting friendships are harder to maintain because you kind of grow apart in certain ways
Yeah.
sometimes, you know? So I feel like that was an
Yeah.
interesting dynamic of having like a new friend at an
Yeah.
older age.
I agree. And I just felt like Ashley was like the wise old, like me, a little bit like me, friend who cared about her enough to be like, you screwed up kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then after this, the day that she's like texting Ashley, like, I'm ready to do this with you, she also texts Miles because he had asked her to be like, hey, like, we can't do this Sunday event, but like, do you want to come with me to this thing on
Oh
Saturday?
yeah, this
And she's like,
mystery thing.
no. And then immediately is like, you know what, I'm down. And this is where Nikki comes in.
Yes. Okay, so this was like one of my favorite. I have this like one funny quote from the scene. But this is when Miles is like, "Okay, we're going out on this like separate excursion because we can't do this weekend." And so he takes her to this like funny old people senior prom like fundraiser thing. And of course, surprise surprise,
Of
Peter and
course.
Petra are there. Yuck. And so she's kind of freaking out, and they while they're there, they like dance together and are kind of trying to do, again, it's like, oh, make sure they're looking over here while I kiss you kind of thing. And I think that was so, she felt like it was too performative because she really liked him at
Yeah.
this point, and she was like, well, I just don't want to like I don't know. And she's like, my stomach hurts, I gotta go outside. So she like runs outside. They end up having this like sweet little heart to heart in the car, and we kind of learn more about Miles and his family drama at this point, like how his mom was really toxic growing up. He still has a lot of trauma from that, like wanting to be perfect all the time. He feels really guilty for leaving Julia when she was little because they have a pretty big age gap. So he was like, yeah, I like left and went off to college and just would come back and see her on the weekends, then that wasn't good enough, you know? So we kind of learn a little bit more about his dynamic, and I just love him.
I know.
And I have two quotes from this section, actually. One, because I thought this was the funniest part of the whole book. Emily Henry is so funny. When they're literally, the two of them are like dancing and making out on the dance floor. And she says, from the way Petra is gawking at us, you'd think we just performed a handstanding 69 in front of God and everyone. And I was like, what? So
I love her.
She's so funny. And I was like, that's crazy. And of course, Petra and Peter are just like, what the heck? Why are these two here? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it
Ugh.
was just sweet. Like, I don't know. I just love Miles. And he was talking about, he said, I don't want you to look at me like I'm broken. Like, he just had a lot of trauma. And it was a good example also of people who like present as happy-go-lucky, like, I'm friends with everyone, I'm great at getting along with people, but it was kind of from this trauma of like never feeling good enough.
Yeah. And I remember from like maybe a few chapters before where she's like, oh yeah, like Julia was saying that you would always come back in the summer and like take her out and she would
Yeah.
have the best days. And it's like, it is stuff like that where he's holding on to the negative side and how like the guilt. And she's like so grateful that he's there. It's like so much about perspective in
Mm-hmm.
situations like that. So I liked how they shared the vulnerability of it, but I also liked that there was like a dual point of view to the same situation in a way.
Yeah.
Obviously Julia, I think she does say like that it was hard, but she's like, oh, he was older, like he was in college, like of course he was gonna go away.
Yeah. Well, and like it was like her big brother, like he would come home and take her out and she loved it. And it's interesting because there was like the exact opposite of that dual perspective with her and her dad, where it was like she
Mm-hmm.
was waiting for him to come back and take her and do these things. And on his perspective, he's like, yeah, she loved when I would take her to this and loved when I would take her fishing. And she's like, we didn't do that. I don't remember that. Like all these things. So it
Yeah.
was interesting the way they kind of paired those up later.
Yeah.
But that was just like a nice way for them to connect a little bit more emotionally, I think. And then later on, this is when Julia and Ashley end up having to help her clean out her old wedding stuff. Because at this point, she had been hoarding all of her old wedding stuff
The
for
whole
months because she
closet.
just kind of like stuffed it into a closet, forgot about it. She had her dress, she had all her linens or her table scale, like everything. And it all comes crashing out when Julia's trying to find like a spot for her stuff. And so they were like, girl, I'm
Uh-oh.
sorry, but you cannot still have this. And so they like made her put her dress on, like do all these things.
I love that. That was like so therapeutic. Or what is it called? Like, yeah, like
Cathartic,
therapeutic.
I think is what you're thinking.
Cathartic. Yeah, yeah, that's the word.
Yeah. No, this was a cute like movie montage scene where it's
Yeah.
like, when your friends come over and they like help you clean your closet out and sit and
Yeah.
like tell you yes or no to try on stuff. Like it just felt very female friendship, healthy, dynamic.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I feel like you and Lynn's always do that. Like she'll try on outfits for you.
Oh, that's my favorite thing to do. Because she's always like, well, what do you think about these? And I'll like help her style stuff and she'll like
Yeah.
show.
And like of course everything looks so good on her
No,
anyway.
everything literally looks so good on her. And so, yes, I love doing stuff like this. Are they turning this into a movie or a show? I think they are, right?
Not a funny story. Are they? I
I
didn't
thought
read
I
about that.
saw an interview of Emily Henry where she was like, they were like, oh, yeah, you have a couple adaptations of stuff coming out. And she was like, oh, yeah,
Oh.
literally all of them. And I didn't know if she
Oh.
meant literally
like,
all
show
of
off.
them or if she just said that. But I think
can
this would
look.
be a really good TV show. And if so, I think that would be a really cute scene of them like cleaning out all
Well,
of her old
people we
wedding.
meet on vacation for sure.
Yes. I know that's the first one coming out, but she said in the interview, like, oh, all of them, but I don't know if that means, if that was an exaggeration or not.
Mm.
Fingers crossed, though. I would love that. So then we have a big shift and change in the story when she comes home from work one day or from the coffee shop and her dad and Starfire have shown up. Spoiler alert, I
Starfire.
love Starfire. Literally, I loved her. I don't know why. I connected so well with her character. She's a kooky little lady, and that's going to be me.
Yeah, she's sweet.
So sweet. So they come into town, kind of surprise her. Of course, she's like, oh, dear God, like, what are we going to do? Because she's got this really strained relationship with her dad. She's used to him having a bunch of different girlfriends and kind of coming in and out of her life and like stopping through. And she told Miles, she was like, it's fine. Let's just hang out with them. They'll be here for like a day or whatever, and then they'll leave. Okay, it's fine. So she finds out first that they got married. So this is her new stepmom, and she's
Right,
like, "You
your
can call
mama?
me mom if you want." And she's like, "I'm okay, thank you, Starfire."
She's like, okay.
Yeah. So they kind of end up taking them out, going on different adventures. They're showing them around, whatever. And it was going well. And she was kind of like, oh, maybe things have changed. She was like, they can actually stay here if they want because they got like a really nasty motel. And, he was surprising her in different ways. And she kind of felt like, okay, maybe things have changed. Then a couple days later, as they're still there, she goes to work. Surprise, surprise. Miles shows up and says, hey, sweetie, I'm so sorry they left. And she kind of is like, okay, great. Like back to, it was like earth shattering. It's like, why did I get
Like
my expectations?
Classic.
And I feel like that was kind of a theme for her at the end here is she was like letting herself actually have higher expectations for something and be like, you know what, maybe this will actually work out this time. Maybe he's changed now and like knows that he shouldn't just like skip out on me like that. Of course, that's exactly what he does.
That's
Miles,
so sad.
I
Like,
know.
ugh.
I know.
I like the I don't know how I always feel so sad when I read about like parents
Yeah,
who are like kind of the worst and like the
same.
kid is just kind of like frick. Like I just want a normal family kind of thing.
Well, it's so hard because for both her and Miles, and even in like, say You'll Remember Me, we just did an Abby Jimenez deep dive episode if you guys want to watch it, but it's like the idea that even if you're a grown adult and you have boundaries and you have this, like your parents hurting you reverts you back to a child again. And so for her, it was like
Oh,
this
literally.
visceral reaction of like, he left me again. Like I got my hopes up.
Yeah.
I used to be that kid sitting at the window waiting for him. And like, she finally developed a callus against it, but then now he did it again. And it was like, boom, she just was right back to that place.
Yeah.
So I feel like that was really hard. And I don't know. She
Sorry,
was just,
and not to get us out of the moment, but speaking of calluses, I've been lifting weights and I have a callus on my
shut up.
I literally have a callus. Like yeah.
Wait, that's like
I'm not soft
pretty
anymore. I'm hardcore.
badass.
Literally right here.
I need to start lift weighting. I need to start lift weighting.
Yeah, maybe you should learn what's cold first.
Yeah.
Anyways,
so
that
then
is sad, and it's also sad. Sorry, going back to that scene is Miles like going to her and being like, "Heads up," and it's like what they left for a guy that they met at the beach, like.
yeah, they were like, "Oh, I got a good opportunity," and he was like, "Yeah, they left you like a note at home if you want to go home and read it." And I told him to call you, but you know, whatever. And it was just like, you can just tell, especially even throughout their interaction when he was there, that he doesn't really know how she sees their relationship because he has a totally different view. And in his eyes, he's like, "Oh yeah, like, you know, she's very independent. She's a good kid. Like, she doesn't need me around, whatever." And it was just a very...
It's like you're a parent. Like, she will always need you around, dude.
Totally.
Like, come on.
Yeah, so
yeah,
that was really sad. And then, of course, she's devastated about it. And Miles was like, "Okay, well, I'll take you out." Because she was like, "I need you to just take me somewhere. Like, I'm sad." So he takes her to his favorite beach, which he told her he would never take her and never take anyone because it's a secret. He took her there and they were having a little cuddle session. They were so sweet. They got into the water. They did all this stuff. Then they get home. What do you know? Foof time. They foofed big time.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And it was just... Well, first of all, I was listening to it while I was driving to the orthodontist. And I, of course, had
that's perfect because people can hear right outside your car.
Right, exactly. So I'm stopped at stoplights and I had it on volume literally 1. Because it was like she knelt down and I was like, nope, volume down, volume down. I was like, this is embarrassing. So I kind of like, that took me out of the vibes of the scene a little bit, but you know what? I still enjoyed it very much. And it was like, finally.
When I listened to that, I just, like, I was on the treadmill and I was like, no, we're changing something else. We're going to aggressively running Taylor Swift.
Yeah, no, sometimes you just can't listen to that stuff, especially when you're driving. People can hear you. So that was great. And then they end up having like a nice heart-to-heart afterwards. And it was just, you know, then they're in like wedded bliss. They're in their little foo-foo bliss. They had a couple, what was it, like 24 hours of just eating on the floor and cuddling and like having this whole beautiful time. And they talked a lot about how he has a hard time letting people get close to him because he's worried that, because like he's very friendly with everyone, but he doesn't have a lot of close people to him because he's worried that they're going to see him be vulnerable and like see him as not perfect. And I feel like that was also very relatable, where a lot of people just kind of want to keep people at an arm's length because they're like, well, I'm great when you get to know me, but then like once you really get to know me, it's like, oh, I can't deal with all that trauma. Yeah. So I think he was very like self-conscious of that, and they talked about it. Hi, Shayla.
I know. I feel like that's hard though. Like, I mean, it's easy to be friendly and like be beloved, and that's always such a good feeling. But it's like when you're that person and you kind of know, like, well, they don't really know me. Like they think they do, and they like who they think they think I am. I feel like it's a little bit of that too, where it's like they like me only what I show them and only to like this extent. But if they saw everything, they wouldn't.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's why I always say let your crazy out early on into a relationship so that they know what they're getting into.
And that you did.
And that I did. No, but one of the quotes he said was, it's easy to be loved by the ones who've never seen you F up. I don't know if I can say the F word on YouTube. Probably have done it in the past. But that is also kind of a testament to like why I think a lot of people break up. Like I would say, I don't know, a year into relationships, it's like, it's great when it's great. But then it's like once you actually like make a mistake or have like an emotional response to something or something traumatic happens in your life and you guys go through a hard time together, it's like it's easy to be in love when you haven't seen the person at their worst. And I feel like that's like true love when you can really push through like, oh, this person's like at their worst right now, but I'm going to push through with them kind of thing. So I feel like he just hasn't had that. I love that.
I know.
I love him.
Sad.
And he said even like Petra like
punk guy
didn't
never saw him.
Yeah, never saw him.
Yeah.
So finally she has to kind of, you know, get out of their bed and go back to the real world. And this is when she goes back to work and sees Ashley in the parking lot, and Ashley's pissed and she realizes that she missed her birthday, which Ashley didn't even like her birthday and didn't want to do anything. And Daphne really pushed her and was like, come on, like we can paint your room. You said you always wanted to paint your room pink, and like we'll just do something crazy and like we'll watch a show and have pizza and blah, blah, blah. And Ashley reluctantly was like, okay, sure. And so Daphne was like really upset about that because Ashley was like, dude, if somebody shows you who you are, believe them. Like, I'm sorry, you planned this and you didn't even answer my phone calls. And she was like, oh, well, we were at the beach. And she goes, aha, I see how it is. And she refers to her again as a we girl. And, you know, I
mean, that's what I was saying about Ashley. It's kind of like she's a fake person, but like she's probably lived so much and she's like, that's fine. Like the fact that you didn't show up is fine because you know what? Like you saved me a lot of time and a lot of energy that I would have wasted on someone like you when I know that I don't want someone like this in my life kind of thing. And to be on the other side of that, being the person that like royally screwed up sucks, but it's I would like respect that to be like, okay, like shit, like yeah, I really messed up and you know what? You're so right. And it's like when someone shows you who they are, like believe them kind of thing. Yeah. Like I think it's a little bit of that, and I think that's the wise Ashley kind of showing her colors.
Do you feel like she overreacted in that situation? / would you do, like, if that had happened to you, what would you feel and think?
I would have been so annoyed. Like, I think I am a little bit like that, where I'm pretty straightforward. Some might say, like, I'm pretty, yeah, like, I'm pretty emotional. I'm definitely dramatic, but I think that it was like the principle of it all. Like she got, and it's also heartbreaking. Like you got me so excited and you literally didn't even show. Like I literally would have cried.
I know.
So yes, I think I would have reacted very similar to Ashley. And also she has a kid. Like it was her free night. Like she like had all these plans, and one person that went back to the idea that she already had of her, which was of like the we, reverted back to her ways. And of course she forgot about her because that's what she does.
Ugh. I felt so bad for Daphne though in that situation because you can just tell that she's the type of person who like wouldn't do that to somebody. You know, she like, I feel like she
would though.
I just feel like she's the type who would like always remember somebody's birthday and always be on time and always this. And so like it was just like a perfect storm of like her not putting it in the calendar, her being with Miles, this and this. Like I feel like if she committed to something, she would follow through with it. So that's probably why she felt so shitty about it, because she was like, oh my god, I can't believe I did that.
And I think that's fair for her to feel like that, but I still think that a part of her, the way that she described wanting to be a part of something in the beginning, it was kind of like she chose being with Miles over being a we with Ashley. Like she could have been a we with Ashley too, and like I think that would have been very fair. And I think that's why Ashley, I don't know, like maybe that's why she was like, oh, you're a we girl, but with a guy, like kind of like always with him, with Peter, with the next best thing. Like you can't just kind of sit with what you have right now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I think it was healthy that she was able to just confront it in the moment and say like, well, I didn't appreciate you doing that, and like we don't need to be friends then. Because I feel like I'm the opposite, where I would just be like, oh, okay, like yeah, I was pretty bummed, but like it's fine, and then I would just like not ever hang out with them again. I would just kind of be like,
Yeah.
like I would just like not want to be friends.
I think I would say it pretty clear.
Yeah. No, you're better at being confrontational than I, unfortunately.
Excuse me.
No, but like I feel like that's a good thing, because I just kind of brush it under the rug, you know? Like I don't want to have an
confrontational. No, and it's, you know what? It's like it's never an argument, because really what the other person says doesn't matter, because this is how I feel.
Yeah, it's like you setting boundaries.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like not a confrontation. I'm just telling you that you're a damn fool.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I would let myself get walked over, but then I would just ghost them and never hang out with them again. So
yeah. Well, I guess that's like a good approach too.
I mean, probably not, but it's worked for me so far. So then it's like, of course, awkward at work, whatever. And then she was like, oh, well, you know, I still have tonight to look forward to, because her and Miles had plans to go do something. So then she's waiting outside. 20 minutes go by. Oh, maybe Miles is late. I hope he's doing okay. She checks her phone, nothing. But he would never be late. Miles is not flaky. 40 minutes go by. She's like, where the heck is he? I wonder if he's okay. What's going on? She's calling him. She's calling him. She's calling him. An hour goes by. She's texting him. Hey, where are you? I thought we still had plans. And he was just like, oh, sorry. Got cut up. My bad. I
was like, oh, no, he did not.
Oh, you know the way her stomach just dropped when that shit happened. Like when you get that text,
I hate that feeling. Oh,
it's like you're like, oh, something's finally working out for me. Like this guy really likes me. We have plans, and then you just get hit with the, oh, I can't tonight. Sorry. No. Oh my God.
No context. No nothing.
No nothing. No phone call. I'm so sorry. Like you, and at that point she knew. She was like, something's wrong here, because like why wouldn't he call and be like, I'm so sorry, I got caught up at work, like whatever. Give her some reason.
Oh, that makes me so like,
I was like physically uncomfortable.
I like broke my heart like twice over, because it's like, I hate it when you start to like someone. Obviously they had spent magical hours together, and she's like, of course, like, yeah, my new boyfriend, I love him so much. And then he turns out just to be like an a-hole butt guy. Like, ugh.
And also I feel like it's really sensitive, because this was literally like a 24 hours, 48 hours after they foofed for the first time. And I feel like so many women have had this experience where it's like they say and do all the right things just to get you in bed, and then literally they're like, oh, sorry, like it's not working out for me.
I'm busy.
Yeah, and it's like, what? It's like so heartbreaking, you know, that you like finally be vulnerable with somebody. Ooh, I was so mad. So then she goes home.
I remember reading this, so sad.
She goes home, she's like so sad about it. And guess who shows up right on cue? Peter.
Who do you think, you guys?
Oh, my God.
3 guesses. Write it in the comments right now.
So Peter's knocking on the door. She's like, that's my pizza. Just drop it off, whatever. She has to go get the door. It's freaking Peter. Surprise, surprise. Him and Petra broke up. And guess what he's there to do? Grovel and beg for her back, as does every single freaking man in this planet. Again. Two sides of the different coin. Same coin.
But you know what, though? I think in the earlier chapters, Miles was saying, it's like he wants both of you.
Yeah.
Like it's not about like who he loves and like who he wants to marry. It's about like having all the options available to him.
Totally.
Even if it's like he's with Petra now. When he was with you, he wanted Petra. When he was with Petra, now he wants you. And like, it's not about like, yeah, maybe he's still going to marry Petra at that time, but he wants to know that you still want to hang out. Like you would still like leave everything at the drop of this freaking shoe.
It's just a pride thing. He like couldn't believe that she didn't still want to be with him after everything. And like he just, once him and Petra didn't work out, he was like, well, this is going to be embarrassing if I can't make it work with her again, you know?
Yeah. Oh, I hate him.
Of course, he shows up. He's like asking to want to get back together. He's saying all these things. And she's like, dude, no, like, I don't want to be with you. What's wrong with you? And she kind of thought about it. And she was like, wow, my ideal situation a couple months ago, what I wanted is dropped into my lap. Like, but this isn't what I want anymore. Like, I don't want to be with somebody like that. And she was thinking all about his like perfect little, you know, picture perfect family. And she's like, that's not what I want. Like, I didn't feel connected to these people. And then, so as, you know, they're talking about the breakup, he's like, well, Petra's moving out right now and Miles is over there helping her. And she's like, what? Oh my God. Again, my stomach dropped. I was like, you, of course, literally, of course. As
why is he's such a dang fool.
Stupid. I literally, this is just, you know, if you know, you know. It's like the girls who have been there have been there. It's like that feeling when it's like, I knew. So then, of course, Miles doesn't come home. She's worrying all in her head, like, what is he doing? They're getting back together, all
like,
this
why
stuff.
Doesn't he just freaking text her? Like, if you like her, text her.
Dude.
Just tell her where you are. I'm coming home.
Communicate, bro. Because then later we find out what happens and it's like, why weren't you? Obviously, I know he like, why you didn't want to say anything, whatever. So anyways, now she's sad. She's mad. She's whatever. Later, she's walking in the rain. I think she was coming home from work the next day or something. Mm-hmm. And of course, it's pouring rain. She decided to walk to work. She's got to walk home. She's getting all wet, ugly, rat, whatever. Miles drives up, honks the horn. He's in a Jeep. The second they said he's in a Jeep, I was like, guess who drives a Jeep? Petra drives a Jeep. How dare she, little Petra. So he picks her up. He's trying to apologize. He's like, I left you some fudge with a note. I'm sorry, that was lame. Like, I forgot about the fudge. She literally, when I was like, oh, it's going to be an apology. She like saw the box on her nightstand and then she opens it up. It was literally fudge. She's like, of course, this is like some stupid shit my dad would do.
Literally classic.
Leave me a consolation prize. So he's trying to apologize to her. They're fighting in the car because she's like, how could you do this to me? I trusted you. Like, I got my hopes up. I got my expectations up. You shattered them, all this stuff. You just left, like you didn't communicate. And of course he's like, well, I love you. Oh my God.
My butt cheeks, you love her.
Okay, this is interesting. What do you think about, because I feel like this happens a lot, A, in real life and B, in books, when the I love you comes out in the form of like some type of fight where it's like,
I hate that.
I hate it, but I can see how it happens because he's like, but you don't understand. Like, I love you. Like, what do you mean? And then it's like, then it's like a tainted thing.
It's tainted. Like, it's very tainted. It kind of like invalidates, like, oh, is that what love looks like to you? Like, is that what loving someone means to you? Because I don't want to be loved by you if that's what it is. Like, I hate it. And I also just like, I think it's so cheap. And I also hate when they do like the I love you and then she's like, I love you too. Like, I'm glad she doesn't.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it was kind of nice that she didn't give in right away to that, because it would have been so easy to be like, oh, okay, like, well, if you've done all this because you love me, like, I get it. But yeah, I feel like it's hard when they do that because I can see how it happens. Like, I feel like it feels pretty realistic, you know, like I could see this being the way it plays out, but that doesn't mean that it's like not sad.
I think I like to see it when there's like a strong, semi-strong female character that like doesn't accept it.
Yeah.
Because I think that if it is, it just kind of like that. It's just like, is that what love looks like to you? Because I don't want that.
Yeah.
Like, and when you accept it, it's kind of like, oh, okay, he can do it again.
Yeah, it's like setting a weird precedent.
Put up with it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Ugh. And doesn't he say like, oh, Petra has my truck. Like, I'm just letting her move her. Why, dude? Just freaking.
Yeah, and that also is annoying because it's like, I know it's supposed to show like he's a good guy and all this stuff, but it's like, dude,
I don't freaking give a crap.
Her, like, she literally did all this stuff to you, and the first thing you're gonna do is go help her right away. And granted, later he said, yeah, like, I got over there, I was gonna help, and then I kind of realized, like, what am I doing? Just keep the truck and we'll trade back later. But I'm sorry, he's better than me, because I would have been like, ha 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 ha, you big fat loser, like, you have to move your stuff out. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, I hate it when that's like a nice thing to do.
I would have laughed in her face.
Do not be a nice guy. Like, do not let her walk all over you, because then you are still choosing her over.
That's what I was gonna say too. It's like you're choosing her.
It's like, no, he literally chose her. Like, that's so annoying. Ugh.
And I feel like, again, like, Miles. This makes me mad, but it was realistic, because it's like when you've been in such a long-term deep relationship with somebody, sometimes it's so easy to just apologize for them, even if they've hurt you. It's like you fall right back into that pattern where it's like, hey, but I need help, and you're like, okay, here I come, you know. I've felt that, and it's like, it's hard to break out of that, where it's like that person like basically ran your life and was part of your life for so long. So he just fell back into old habits, which is like,
but it's just like, oh, I hated that.
David. So at this point, she's like, whatever, dude, I'm out. She ends up like trying to figure out how she's going to make it up to Ashley, because now she has nobody basically, because she's fighting with Miles, she's fighting with Ashley, whatever, and Julia had been gone in Chicago. So she ends up trying to surprise Ashley by painting her room. She goes over there and starts painting things when Ashley was supposed to be at the poker night. Ashley ends up coming home and being like, girl, what are you doing? You're painting my room. They kind of talk through things, end up patching things up, BFFs again. And she's staying there for a few days now because she's like, I don't want to be with home at home.
She's like, oh, also, you're literally a millionaire. Perfect.
Oh, yeah. First of all, she literally has like cookie money from her ex-husband's like family wealth. And so she lives in a mansion. So Ashley's like, dude, just stay here for a few days. It's fine. So then readathon day comes around. This is like the countdown we've been getting through the whole book. It's like this big readathon. First of all, we need to make a real life readathon because that sounds so fun.
No, I know. When I read this, I was like,
I literally put that in Fable. I was like, can we make one, guys? Excuse me, I gotta go. Anyways.
Nikki would fall asleep right quick at that readathon, I'll tell you that.
You know I would be out so quick. Okay, so now we're to readathon day. It comes around. It honestly ends up going pretty well. Things are great. She feels so, connected to the community and feels like she loves the library and all the kids are happy and whatever. At this point, she's still like kind of toying with the idea of doing the job where her mom lives. But
she got a job offer, right?
Yeah, she like does an interview and gets a job offer at back in, where was it, Richmond? So, or where does her mom live? Her mom lives in Maryland. Shout out Maryland once again. But yeah, so the readathon really like drove home her love for this home library, and Miles ended up showing up to help with the readathon, which we kind of knew he would because he's a nice guy. And she finds out that Miles, this is through her dad, because she talks with her dad before the readathon. He calls her to say like, good luck on your thing, which I thought was sweet, whatever. And he finds out that Miles drove up to see him and Starfire the day after they left to basically yell at them and be like, you need to come back because now she's sad that you just like ditched out on her. And he's like, oh yeah, this guy, like, he doesn't know anything about you. You're strong. Like, you didn't care about that, whatever. And she was like, yeah, okay, I gotta go, bye. She ends up calling him back and telling him off, basically, which I was like, I was very proud of her. Yeah, and she kind of was like, I'm sorry if this is gonna hurt your feelings. I'm not trying to be mean, but you were a really shitty dad to me growing up.
But you kind of suck.
Yeah, you sucked, and like, this really messed me up as an adult. You hurt me in these ways, and it did feel like you weren't around. I know you thought you were, but you weren't. And he was just like, oh my gosh, like, I had no idea. And she's like, we'll talk about it later. Goodbye. So
I gotta go read.
Yes, I gotta go read. So now she's sitting on this information throughout the whole readathon that Miles, the reason that he was MIA is because he was really trying to help her and like try and fix what happened on his watch. Like, he let them leave, and so he's like, well, crap, she's sad now, I gotta go get them back.
But sorry, was that why he didn't come home that night?
Yes.
Okay, because he drove
he drove up there, and it was like super far, and he had to like drive all the way through the night and then go to work or something like that. So after the readathon, they end up talking, and this is kind of the big, love profession, or what's the word? Yes. Love confession of the end of the book. And he kind of said to her, like, yeah, I just wanted to make things better. And when I was driving back down, I failed. And so I got you this stupid box of fudge. And I know it doesn't make it right. And like, he apologized and said all these things. And this one quote that he said, I know I'm not who you pictured yourself with, but I think I could be eventually if you'll let me.
Meow.
I love Miles. So it was kind of, she basically was like, I love you too. I forgive you, but I'm not moving back in. I'm going to get my own apartment. Let's like try this for real. It's not going to work if I live with you. I want to do my own thing. I want to be my own person, which I was so happy that she wrote that and that she didn't just move back in with him and be happily ever after. Because Daphne at this point, like, really needs to learn how to be alone and like make her own life. And I think that was like the perfect healthy way to do it, of like, obviously they're going to be together and fall in love and whatever, but like she needs a chance to live on her own and like do her own thing.
Oh, I
So,
know. And I think that I always love it when people have like a single era
mhm.
because it's just you grow so much. So I like that she's obviously still they're dating, fine, but she gets to also be her own person and do the things and do the poker and do the Ashley and like then see Miles and they get to go home to their own houses. Like I think
Mhm.
that's very healthy.
Yeah. I think that was good for her. And even when she was, Ashley earlier was like, you could live with me or whatever. And they were both like, no, actually, we would fight and we would hate each other. It's like she
Yeah,
really
it's like
just
actually, yeah,
needed
you're
to,
right.
she had like everybody in her life she was using as a crutch almost, like with her mom, with Peter, or with whatever, with Sadie. So she kind of now is able to actually be on her own, and it was their happily ever after. And then the final chapter was kind of like an epilogue of sorts, where it was like over a year later they end up moving in together. They bought a little house just down the street from the little greenhouse that she wanted, which was cute.
I love that.
Yeah. And it was like a big fixer upper, and like everybody was coming to stay. She ended up rekindling things with Sadie, and the friendship was like kind of rocky, but it was, on the mend. And it was just, it was wrapped up in a nice little bow. I was very happy. Although I did see on
I
Fable that
love it.
some people thought the ending was very rushed. Did you feel like that?
No, I liked it. I felt like everything that I had kind of picked up throughout was like tied up nicely.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't need like I don't know, I like open-ended stuff, but I like what you wrote here where it's like them at the home housewarming and people ask like, "Oh, how did you guys meet?" or whatever.
This was like one of my favorite things. This was very Taylor Swift of her, because you know how Taylor will, like, whatever the first line of the song is, she'll repeat at the end. So the
Yeah.
book opened with them, with her trying to tell the story of like how Peter and her met, and how she was like, yeah, he would always tell it because I'm like really crappy at telling stories. And at the end, here's the quote. It says, "Funny story," he says, but doesn't go on, just watches and waits. He knows how much I love to tell it. And so it's like, it shows that being with Miles and like going through all this, like she's learned how to be more of a people person and like be
Yeah.
honest and be vulnerable and tell the story. And it's like she feels more confident in herself being with him, which I
Yeah.
think is really sweet. And I feel like the right person can bring that out of you, like the
I was just
confidence
gonna
to
say
be
that.
yourself, I think that's
Yeah.
really sweet.
I think so too. And I like that they throughout the book they did talk about how different they were, but I think in the end you kind of need that to like balance each other out. Like her
Hmm.
and her calendar, and he just kind of flew by the seat of his pants. It's like I think at the end you learn so much when someone is pretty different
Yeah.
from you.
And they made each other better. Like, I think once they were able to kind of talk through everything and see how the other person, and like at the end, she noticed that he would start adding things to the calendar and stuff. Like, that's
Yeah,
so cute. So I feel like they really learned a lot from each other, and it felt like it ended up being quite a happy, like, healthy relationship, I thought.
I agree.
Yeah, I just loved it. Oh, you have to give me a rating because I feel like mine won't be a surprise, but
Mine's a 5 out of 5. And my comment said, "I love me some Miles." I loved it.
ooh,
I
I
I
love it.
felt like um I read it twice now, and I feel like this time around I kind of got to pick up a little bit more on more of her personality throughout, and it was just kind of nice to see like her growth. I love Emily Henry. I loved all her other books. I don't know that I would rate them all fives, to be fair, but I really liked this one. I liked the proximity trope. I liked the roommates. I just loved, I just loved Miles, you guys. But I also really liked Daphne. I liked how she was kind of like a lone wolf, but also like was able to recognize toward the end that like she probably should try to have more of a life outside of just like a one other person kind of thing. Even with her mom, I know we didn't talk about it, but like
Mhm.
her and her mom being like such a big theme. Um, no, 5 out of 5.
Yes. I would also rate it a 5. Big surprise. I think for me, what I've kind of pinpointed with books is like, if I really love not only the main characters, but also the side characters, I feel like that really brings the whole book together. Because a lot of times
Yeah,
it's like you love some, but not all. And it's like, I loved her. I loved Miles. I loved all the side characters. I thought it was so fun. And I also loved the setting, like being in Michigan, doing that summer romance with all the excursions. It was so dreamy and the pacing was really good. And it was like emotional without being too emotional. I just loved it. Love, 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 love.
And I don't know. Sorry, I didn't think it was rushed. Like it felt pretty good to me.
Yeah, I just noticed that multiple people said that about the ending, which I feel like sometimes even saying that, it's like a good sign because it means you wanted more. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, the ending was rushed. It's like everybody with Game of Thrones. It's like the ending was so rushed. The last season was so rushed. It's like we could have watched that show for 10 more years and been happy with it.
Yeah.
So it's like,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I loved it. I feel like we hit it out of the park with this one, guys. Please let us know your ratings. And also let us know if you want us to do a full deep dive on Emily Henry, because this is obviously only one of her books and her new one comes out literally now. So we could do an entire Emily Henry dedicated episode like we did with the Abby Jimenez one, if you guys are interested in that. So let us know your thoughts.
Yeah, definitely let us know. I liked the format that we had for Abby, like the recaps and then the new one. So we just need to read Grey BBL and then we'll be caught up.
Yeah, I don't know about we. As Ricky would say, who's this we? You got a mouse in your pocket?
Ben says the royal we, huh?
Yeah. I unfortunately have, let's see, 3 more Emily Henry books to read and then the new one and then I'll be caught up. So,
Nikki. Okay, you guys, we were planning on doing a live
for the next book.
Yeah, a live announcement of May's book club pick. However,
oh my God, is it
we
tied?
Are tied, Nick.
Shut up.
I have my phone up.
No way.
Tied. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, what do we do? Should we just choose it or should we flip a coin or what do we do? Guys, if you don't know, we do all of the voting for our book club episodes in our Instagram broadcast channel. It's kind of tricky. The way you have to get to it is through my personal page, but we all have access to it. But we put in 4 options for the May book club and 2 of them are tied right now as we're recording this. We were going to give people until the last minute because it's been neck and neck. What do we do?
Okay, so in last place, so completely out, we had Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So that one is out. If you guys have read it or want to read it, let us know. We also had Remarkably Bright Creatures. That it has 17 votes. Carrie Soto had 11. Both Quicksilver and Lessons in Chemistry have 68 votes.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Oh my.
I think what we should do is
Battle of the
well, I was going to say we could pick whichever one is higher rated on Goodreads.
Okay, yeah, we could do that.
Okay, are you ready?
Okay,
all right, ready. Lessons in Chemistry. Well, first of all, I would like to point out they have a very different amount of ratings. Lessons in Chemistry has 1,600,000 ratings, and it got a 4.28. Okay. Quicksilver has 426,000 ratings, so about a third, a little bit, a fourth almost.
A little bit more than a third.
4.39. That means Quicksilver. That's a close one. Quicksilver is the winner.
Wow,
with Kingfisher.
Not King friggin' Fisher.
Dude, Kingfisher, we out here.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm ready.
We haven't had a fantasy. Have we had a fantasy ever on the book club?
Onyx Storm, sister.
No, that wasn't even a book club read.
Oh, yeah.
I think this might be our first fantasy read as a group. Maybe we're forgetting something, but this is exciting. Okay, well.
I'm ready. Okay. Sorry. I mean, you guys are seeing it here first. So 68, 68, 17, and 11.
That's crazy.
We were tied. We had to make the call. I think that was good, though. I feel like that was fair.
Yeah, that seems fair.
I don't use Goodreads, I will say.
Yeah, I don't know what the Fable rating is, but hopefully by the time we post this, the poll won't have changed because then everyone will be mad. But
can you close the poll?
I don't know. But for now,
well,
Quicksilver is the winner. So
Quicksilver.
Yay! Okay, well, we will see you guys in Fable and in the Instagram broadcast channel chat. In the meantime, our next episode will be coming out a week from now with our new TBR and reading recap for the last month and the coming month. But other than that, We'll see
Oh
you
my
next
gosh,
time.
we're gonna be in May. That's crazy.
That's crazy. Also,
I'm
happy
ready.
birthday to us. Don't forget to leave us a
Happy
5-star
birthday, Nikki.
review. I almost burped into the mic.
Yay. Okay. Love you. Bye.
Bye.